My dear friends and family, thank you so much for joining me. I have wanted to share this project of mine with you for months now. I call this the Water of Life. I worked on it in the spring of this past year. It was a lot of fun to work on. It's probably my first kind of sculpture-ish piece. But it is, basically I took a plywood board and I did kind of a camouflage effect to match it to my fireplace wall. And then I took resin and cotton balls and put layers of those on top of it. And you probably can't see on the video, but if you were to look really closely at it, behind the resin from the top to the bottom are actually the Hebrew words Mayim Hayim, which means water of life. I wanted to share this with you because as we are approaching the end of 2020, I have been thinking back on this past year. And I worked on this project right after we got locked down. The stay-at-home order, my massage business had to be shut down. I couldn't work. My grandmother had had a stroke. It was a really, really rough time of year. I know a lot of you guys felt the exact same way. I remember even during those weeks, I almost didn't even want to go on Facebook or social media in general because the posts were just too discouraging. I was really struggling. But in that time of really struggling, as I prayed, the thing that God kept speaking to me was life, 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 life. Seems to be the way God works. In the midst of death, He speaks to us about life. So I worked on this project, and really it was a prayer for myself, for my family, for this house, for this city, for this country, for this world. In the midst of death, this was my prayer, that God's waters of life would break through our walls, break through the very bricks of our walls that we've put up and overflow onto us and onto our families. And as I look back at 2020, it's been such a difficult time, but I know in my own life and in the lives of my friends and family around me, I have seen so many little miracles, so much provision. I am not saying it hasn't been difficult, but I've seen God provide financially. I've seen Him provide jobs. I've seen things taken away from people that were difficult, but also allowed them to refocus, recenter, and take a firmer grasp of the things that really mattered. I've seen intimate family times. I feel like I've seen a lot of life in the midst of the craziness of this year. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. And as you guys are thinking about the end of 2020, looking back on this year, praying about the year to come, I just pray that you can look back on it with honesty, because it's just been hard. That's just truth. But also look back on it, seeing the areas of life, seeing where God has provided, and even rejoicing in those places. So that is my prayer for myself. That is my prayer for you guys as we enter into this new year. May God's water of life pour out upon you to overflowing. Be blessed. Thank you so much, guys.